Alright guys, so Arche Tuning's been out for a few weeks now, and I've had quite a bit of time to put a lot of the Descendants through the Sigma sector. The good news is some of the Descendants are even better than they were to begin with. Bad news is, some of them are still just not good right now, and not Descendants that I think you should waste the time leveling up in Sigma. So what I wanted to do was give you guys the top 5 Descendants that I think you should take through Sigma sector. One thing to keep in mind here is that I am going to be omitting both Serena and Inez. Both of these characters are very overtuned, and you should 100% build both of these characters. But I think that 1, it's a given that you should build these characters. And 2, there's also a very high probability that these characters will be balanced in the future. Now we do know there is another balancing patch coming up here within the next month, and that might change this list. If it does, we'll go ahead and we'll revisit it and give you guys an updated guide. So number 5 on my list is actually Bunny. Bunny has never really been in a bad spot in the first Descendant. As a matter of fact, she was always considered one of the more overpowered Descendants. And then Freyna came out, and then Inez came out. Now we do know that Inez will be receiving some type of balance patch in the future, which still leaves both Freyna and Bunny in a very good spot. So when it came to number 5 on the list, I wanted to go with the Descendant that I thought was the most fun to play and the most impactful. And while Freyna is very good at holding down a single spot, she doesn't clear the map quite the same way as Bunny. Now with the Arche tree, Bunny is just even better than she ever was. She puts out a lot of damage and she can clear sections even faster than she could. You mix that with just her gameplay loop and the fun of playing Bunny and just running around, and she is by far and away somebody that I think you should run through the Arche tree. The only negative to Bunny is she is not the most robust Descendant. She is not somebody that I think that you can equally build into both bossing and mobbing. I think Bunny herself really excels when it comes to mobbing, and she is just a great, fun, all-around mobbing character, and that's why she made her spot on the list. So if you're not sure how to build Bunny, we'll go ahead and link the build to Bunny in this video as well as in the description below. That way you can go ahead and look at our build post Arche Tuning. That way you have a good base and a good reference for when you build your Bunny, so you can use her in all of the content that we have. Number 4 on my list is actually Viessa. I think Viessa is an amazing, fun, strong Descendant. You can build her with absolute 0 to just do an insane amount of single target damage as well as grouped damage. And you can also use her Blizzard to help clear large rooms. So all in all, she is a really solid mobber with really high spike damage that lends itself to taking out yellow bars and champ monsters. She's another Descendant like Bunny that I think has a lot of uses but just doesn't excel at everything altogether. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't build her. Once you get your hands on her, you'll see what I mean about just how much damage she does. Her crit hits are actually impressive, and I was really surprised at just how well she scales out at the top end and how much her Arche Tuning really just took her to the next level. Now, if you're looking for a guide for Viessa, we don't actually have it done yet. I will go ahead and link it in the video, and I will link it in the description below when we do get it out. But until then, just know that she is definitely worth your time. And once I do have the build video, you can always come back here and get a direct link to it. Now, number 3 on my list is a Descendant that I literally just got built, and it is Valby. Valby is an absolute blast to play with. She has so many different builds and so many different playstyles that it's actually hard to figure out what you want to go with. Now we've come up with a really solid hybrid build for her that meshes her skill damage and weapon damage in a way that lets you be able to mob and be able to take out Colossus. She's one of the first Descendants on our list that you're going to be able to do this with, and I cannot recommend building Valby enough. I really struggled with 3, 2, and 1 on my list, and putting Valby at number 3 was a hard decision. But at the end of the day, there are still a few things that she doesn't quite do as well as the other Descendants I'm going to showcase, but I do think you should go ahead and build her. As a matter of fact, I would recommend you build her as soon as possible. I cannot emphasize enough how surprised I was after we built her with her ability to mob and then be able to go take out Colossus single-handedly within the matter of seconds. She is really a versatile Descendant and somebody that I think you would be happy to build. And if you're looking for the build we're talking about, we'll go ahead and link it here in the video, and we'll link it in the description below so you can see the Valby build that I've been talking about. Once you spend the time with this build, you're going to have a lot of fun, and she's going to add a lot to your kit, and she's going to keep you from feeling like you need to only play the most meta Descendants. Now, number 2 on the list might be a little bit controversial, but we are going to go ahead and talk about Luna. She's one of the only supports that we put on this list, but she's also a DPS. With Arche Tuning, her DPS build lets her mob with the best of them. She's not quite as fast as Bunny because her movement speed is a little bit slower, and she can't fully clear a room like Inez, but really nobody can. But having said that, she still does a serious amount of damage, and that's where I think her mobbing build excels. But having said that, her mobbing build really excels at how hard it hits, and that's something that not a lot of other mobbers do. She really can put down a lot of targets very easily, whether they're little white bars all the way up to those big chunky yellow bars. And that's what makes her mobbing build so good. Outside of that, she has a whole nother side of her. She can help buff everybody's crit hit rate for weapons or for skills. She can keep your team topped up in mana, and she can provide just a lot of other support that not everybody else can do, and she does it in a very fun minigame. One thing I can say is Luna is kind of intimidating to play, so if you're not sure how to play Luna, definitely go ahead and check out our guide. We've got it linked up above, and we'll have it linked down below. In this, I show you her full support build, as well as her DPS build, and I show you how to play them, which I think is something that a lot of people really need to see. Once you see how to play Luna, it gets rid of all the fear and trepidation around it, and you just want to get out and try to play her. All right, that's it. This is the end. This is what everybody's been waiting for. You've been waiting to know who I think you should build. The number 1 Descendant, and I'm gonna have to say that it's Sharen. I think that Sharen has an amazing play style, and with her new spin to win and with ATAMs, she has become a single-handed dominating force in any match. She can run through and clear entire packs of enemies without ever slowing down. And then as soon as a big enemy shows up or an end of match boss, she can pull out ATAMs and go ahead and one-shot it right into the next phase. It is insane just how good Sharen is and how slept on she was by the community. We're so used to using the most overpowered broken Descendants, and we're so used to being so strong that it doesn't really matter, and we just run through with the 1 or 2 Descendants we have built. And with Arche Tuning, we've really been able to elevate other Descendants up, make them feel like powerhouses, and Sharen was one that I think really benefited from this. Once I built my Sharen out, I really didn't want to put her down to play other Descendants. For the most part, I use her for everything unless I'm trying to one-shot the new Void Abyss boss, in which case I still do go ahead and use Serena. But outside of that, I use Sharen for basically everything. I think she's a fun character. She has an interesting gameplay loop between using her sniper and using her invis and mixing that with using her 1 and her 3. And it just becomes a really fun, interesting, engaging gameplay loop and something that I think you should try out. Now, if you're curious what the build is for this, we're gonna go ahead and link this one in the video here, and we're gonna put it in the description below. I spent a lot of time on these guides, and I hope that you guys like them. I wanted to make sure not only did I show you what to do to build the characters, but I really wanted to show you how to play them. Because I think once you understand how to play these characters, it really opens up a whole nother level of enjoyment in the first Descendant. All right, guys, and there you go. That's it. That is my entire video on the top 5 Descendants I think you should run through Arche Tuning. Now, when we were going to do this video in the beginning, I was going to include Serena and Inez, but I think everybody already knows about them, and I wanted to make sure this list brought something new and fresh to your eyes, and brought some other Descendants that you might not be used to playing up in front of you, so you could go ahead and build these different Descendants and these different characters and really enjoy your time in the first Descendant. But let me know what you think in the comments below. What are your favorite Descendants? Do you have some Descendants that you think need to be on this list that aren't on this list? And if so, why? Really let us know as a community so we know why we should look at building them. And if you enjoyed the content, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. It helps my videos get in front of you guys and helps push them further up in the algorithm. And it is one great way to support your favorite YouTuber. And if you want to be more a part of our community, consider coming over and checking out our live channel on Twitch. We do stream 5 days a week. We spend a lot of time in First Descendant, but we are playing some other games here and there, and we would love to have you over and get to know you. But having said all that, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.